Hi everybody, this is Book S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Neca Friday the 13th Part 7 The New Blood Ultimate Jason Voorhees figure. So before we take a look at Jason, let's take a look at all of the numerous accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with an alternate set of accessory holding hands. Up next, he comes with a bloody tent spike, and this looks really good. I like the bloody detail on it. There's no blood on any of the other accessories though. So yeah, that is a bit of a letdown. I would have preferred there to be some blood on the other weapons, of course. Up next, he comes with a sickle. And this looks really good, but as you can see, the blade there is very thin. So yeah, I'd definitely be careful when you're posing him with this. Because if you drop this, or just put it in his hand the wrong way, I could see it easily snapping off. Up next, he comes with a butcher knife. And this looks really good. The blade looks really nice. And the handle actually has some pretty good paint detail to it. It has a black wash over top of it that looks really good. Up next, of course, he comes with his trademark machete. Up next, he comes with the wood cutter. And again, has some really good sculpt detail, especially to the handle here. The wood grain is sculpted really nicely. Would have been nice if there would have been a black wash over top of it, though, to bring out all the details. Up next, he comes with the brush cutter. And this looks really good. There's a black wash over top of the blade, and it actually spins here. And it's just sculpted really nicely. Although the trigger right here is very thin. You could put his finger over top of it, but it feels like you might break it if you do, so I just keep his fingers back here. You can actually slide it under the trigger a little bit. But yeah, all the sculpt detail and paint detail to this looks really good. Even has wire right here. So yeah, this is probably my favorite accessory from this figure, is the brush cutter. And for the last of his weapons, he comes with an axe. And again, it has some pretty good sculpt detail to the handle right here. But it would benefit from a black wash. I think that would bring out the details really nicely. Mine also has some scuffs on it. That might just be from getting it in and out of his hand, leaving the scuff marks on it. He also comes with an alternate head. I did want to show this head sculpt off first. You can see the chipped mask right there, showing the exposed side of his teeth right there. You can see the wound on his head from part 4. That looks really good. And this mask is removable. But before I take that off, the mask looks really good. It looks really worn. It's got some scratches and scuffs on it. And Neca used printing. They printed this pattern over top of it to make it look really dirty and aged. And it looks really good. And of course, you can take this off and reveal the more decayed Jason. The left eye there is completely gone. The right eye doesn't look bad, but I would have preferred it to have like more of a white film over top of it. If I remember right in the movie, his right eye kind of had like a milky film over top of it, so it would have been cool if they would have done that. But he has so much paint variation in the skin. The different colors of red and brown and the decayed look to it, it looks really good. So yeah, this is a really awesome head sculpt. And for his final accessory, he comes with the screaming head and the shattering mask. And this looks so awesome. Neca did such an awesome job on this accessory. It just attaches back here to this hole in his head. I didn't have it in there all the way. But it just attaches right there, giving it the appearance that it's breaking in half right there. But I love this head sculpt, just the angriness of it. You can see it even has a painted and textured mouth. I do believe it is a separate piece. That's probably why it's so detailed, is it's a separate piece inside the head. But yeah, that looks so nice. And one thing I wanted to say is this chain is plastic. I don't know why, but I thought it was metal when the promo pictures first came out. And when you're switching the heads off, it wants to go flying. So definitely be careful when you're switching these out that when you pop the head off, this doesn't go flying. So taking a look at the body, Neca did an amazing job on this. Just all of the decayed parts, the exposed bones right there. His shirt is actually a soft piece that is slipped over his torso. So there you can see his exposed ribs and all of the different textures and stuff going on his skin. It looks really good. But I'm really glad that Neca did this, because instead of it just being sculpted on, it is sculpted on and then this is put over top of it, and it looks really good. Up here you get the same thing. This is a soft piece slipped over top of the arm right there, but it is glued down. And again, it looks really nice. Back here you can see his exposed spine, and this is sculpted so nicely. Just all of the different textures and colors of blood and decay going on there. It looks really good. And then the different colors for his shirt, it's tattered and decaying too. His pants have some texturing to them. Again, you get some more of those soft pieces over top of the legs they're glued on. He has some more good sculpt detail right here. Now, the bones for his knees, I don't feel like they're painted as good as these. Like, the bones right here, they look really good. The paint looks good on them. But I feel like they look a little cartoony down here. It doesn't look as good as the rest of the figure. Now, my biggest complaint are the knees right here. This is a soft piece, which it looks good, but when you're moving the figure around, you can see it's a separate piece up here. And when you do that, then it bunches up. So I could see that ripping if you pose the figure around very much, which I pose my figures around a lot. So, yeah, I do feel like this will split if you pose it around very much. On this side, it does the same thing. It just bunches up there. So, yeah, that is my major complaint with this figure, is that this soft piece right here, I feel like it should have started right here. I feel like this should have just been sculpted on and then glued that separate piece on down here. That way you can avoid that, because the way it bunches up and the way you pose it around, I do feel like it'll rip eventually. There's some more good sculpt detail to his legs right here. You get some varying colors. You get some yellows, some browns, some reds, some pinks. This figure is just sculpted and painted really, really nicely. And this being a separate piece really helps with that, you know, because they can sculpt and color everything underneath and then slip this over top of it. So yeah, Neca really went the extra mile with this. This is my favorite iteration of Jason. This is my favorite look for him. And this is easily my favorite Jason Voorhees figure that I have in my collection. So now let's go over his articulation. With the chain on his neck, it does hinder the articulation just a little bit. So he can only look up a little bit and down just a little bit. And move his head side to side. Which, if you wanted to, you could remove that. He has ball-jointed shoulders that barely move out. I would have preferred them to move out just a little farther. He has double-jointed elbows that can bend in all the way and move side to side. He also has swiveled wrists that can move side to side and up and down. He has a ball-jointed diaphragm and waist that really can't move back at all, but he can crunch forward a little farther, but still, the articulation, I'm not sure what's causing that. I think it's just the way it's sculpted and where the joint's at. It just doesn't allow for a lot of articulation there. But he can move side to side in both places pretty well. He has ball-jointed hips that can only move out that far. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. He has single-jointed knee that can bend back that far. And he has swivel ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and an ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 Freddy Krueger. I grabbed this thinking it was the first movie figure, but nope, this is actually the second one. Here he is next to the Part 2 Jason Voorhees figure. Here he is next to the Part 3 version. Here he is next to Part 4. Here he is next to the Part 5 Dream Sequence version. And the only Jason that I'm lacking now is the video game version and the Roy Burns version. And there he is next to Part 6. And of course, this is the Part 7 figure. So now will be Part 8. Hopefully, Neca announces Part 8 sometime. At this point, they might just wait to announce it till next year. But yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to Jason X. That's my second favorite look for Jason. That and an ultimate figure is going to be really, really awesome. And finally, here he is next to the Freddy vs. Jason figure. And the other Jason figures actually stay pretty well within the same scale. You know, they're pretty much the same height. But this one towers over this Jason figure. So overall, I would highly, highly recommend this figure because this is easily my favorite Jason Voorhees figure ever. And my only complaint with the figure, like I said, was that soft piece there on the knees. The way it bunches up, I feel like it'll split or rip or something. But as long as you're easy on it and make sure it doesn't bunch up too much, then you should be fine. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.